a lot of the ritual around religion, specifically for all of our characters, but I think of it in Judaism, obeying certain dietary laws and praying a certain number of times a day and dressing a certain way. The idea that that your religion permeates your whole life, and it's something that you do that directs you every day toward a spiritual plane, but also toward what kind of human being you're going to be, what your interface with the world will be. It really inspired me. I don't think I've taken on any of the Jewish practices of Orthodox Judaism. I still eat the same foods. I still pray the same number of times a month or year or whatever. But I feel as if the kind of focus that these guys have put to their lives and directing themselves toward sort of cause that they believe in and conviction that they believe in, I think everything has really changed the way I view what my mission is in the world.
Part of my growth was from following my subjects Tahir and Bilal and really seeing them come face to face with their own shortcomings and learning how to deal with them. And sometimes very, very serious things, in Bilal's case, like his marriage falling apart and, not being able to see his children and so forth, and how he deals with that. And then also, Tahira just coming to terms with her own personality and her being able to relate with people and so forth, and just feeling like she is never able to live up to her full ideal of herself. And I think, like a lot of people that maybe have a religious upbringing or just religious people in general that have an idea that this world can be perfect or that they can achieve perfection in this world or that, everything can be all right. And that's not ultimately what this world is about. And I think I was able, through their example, be able to be more comfortable with my own shortcomings and being comfortable with making mistakes and being able to learn from them. And that's something that I just to witness their resilience, in dealing with whatever things came their way, I think is something that inspired me and that allowed me to be more comfortable with, my shortcomings. And I think, and that affected me in a big way.
The Catholic seminarians have a very strong prayer life, and part of it is really built into part of what they are supposed to do every day, which is praying a certain number of times during the day from a particular prayer book. And this level of quiet reflection that's in their lives on a regular basis is something that I feel I don't have enough of. And in this busy world with so much swirling about us, to take time to be quiet and to listen to myself and listen to God and listen to silence and the positive effect that can have on one's life and one's understanding of how they relate to people was really interesting to think about and to challenge myself how I could incorporate that into my life in a way that maybe wouldn't match the level of discipline that they've all pursued it with, but any amount that I would incorporate that into my life, I think would make me a person with greater peace.
Following Rob and Janine as they were trying to understand their callings and follow their callings, and seeing how hard that is. It's so hard to figure out what your calling is. I mean, even if in Janine's case, God actually calls you and you hear it in the middle of the night, even if it's that clear, which it isn't for most people, it's still so hard to actually follow it and to know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I think Janine and Rob letting me into that process and seeing that struggle, but also the struggle to balance their lives with their family lives, and really being able to follow that storyline was also incredibly helpful for me because I'm facing those same questions myself,
Over the course of doing this project, Bilal told me that I was like his chaplain, and also Tahir to some extent, that, you know, as much as they were giving to all these people, that there was actually somebody in their lives for once that wanted to hear, and you know, their issues and their problems, and wanted them to unload, you know, whatever they were feeling. And I mean, a lot of people have made comparisons with religious leadership, and a lot of filmmakers have, you know, pursued seminary at some point, and, you know, have gone into filmmaking instead. Martin Scorsese, I think Ang Lee, Danny Boyle, you know, like, you know, there are people that had, you know, religious mind. And so, you know, just seeing sort of the intersection of these two. Danny Alpert, for example. So just understanding that, you know, there's some spiritual component to this medium that can fulfill me in another way was also fulfilling.
I did feel like there were blessings happening on
In both
various
ways.
fronts. Yeah.
Yeah.